Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we've been talking a lot about the infighting in the Tory party, particularly Kemi Badenoch tearing Rishi Sunak, a new one, a meeting the other day. But it seems it's not just Rishi who's in for it. Kemi, again, has been involved with a lot of infighting with Suella Braverman. It quite literally is handbags at 30 paces. Kemi has accused Suella of having a complete and utter nervous breakdown in public over the results and over the massive destructive losses. And then Suella has been saying about Kemi coming from the wrong direction and trying to apologise for the mistakes of the past by saying that they're not going far enough. Both of them, of course, have actually come out now, and as we mentioned before with Kemi, mentioned that the big problem, the big thing that really turned voters off was Rishi Sunak, jumping ship and leaving the D-Day commemoration early because it has no reference for him in his culture or history or heritage. It's meaningless to him, unlike the rest of this country, for which he professes absolutely no love whatsoever, ready with his green card to jump ship and his untaxed billions. So that, of course, was another reason why they lost so badly. But now this infighting is spilling over. And since Kemi is, odds on, going to be the next leader, it's quite clear that with the lack of love and peace and understanding between herself and Suella, that Suella, I think, is not going to be, let's say, given any kind of appointment in Kemi Badenoch's shadow secretary. I think Suella will be out in the cold. And I think this, once again, is going to be another little sort of leverage of routing Suella from the Tories, and then she'll go to Reform. I think if Nigel has any sense, he'll be on the phone to Suella offering soft words, a hard shoulder to cry on. A soft shoulder to cry on, a hard shoulder. She's not on a bloody motorway, is she? A soft shoulder to cry on. Words of encouragement and, a little home for the future. Say, come join us, be important. After all, they've got to replace Ben Habib, haven't they? Anyway, I think that's possibly what's going to happen. Because obviously Braverman was sacked by Rishi. She's not in the current running anywhere with the current shadow cabinet. And as I say, Kemi won't probably have her anyway. There's also Bernard Jenkin. He's a name from the past that's suddenly making a comeback, isn't he? You're thinking, Bernard Jenkin thought he died. He hasn't died. He just simply disappeared, but he's still an MP. He's on the executive of the 1922 committee. Although, you wonder why. He's another one that's got title and no power, really. But he came out today to say that Rishi Sunak is not rushing out the door as leader because he knows if he does, the party will dissolve in his wake. And so, all basically all of them, the men in grey suits, 1922 committee, the Tory High Command, as it were, are descending on Rishi and begging him to stay at least, strangely, they're thinking until Christmas. They want all the hate and the fear and the infighting to dissipate. They want it all to be expunged. They want that catharsis to release and let everyone then calm down, go back, be the bestest chums, and then have a nice friendly leadership contest. And I think they want it to be, again, sadly, an announcement that it will be Kemi and not give the members the option. Now, even if the members wanted Kemi, to not give them an option, to not give them the vote, I think would be a mistake. There's already half of them are thinking of going to Reform anyway. If you then overrid them and said, right, yeah, they may all want Kemi anyways, regardless, but not giving them a vote may be enough to tip them over, and a lot of them will go to Reform, and unlikely ever to come back, or at least not to come back for quite some time, I would suspect. It would hasten the end, and I think that's the problem they have. And for someone like Jenkin, he knows this. Incidentally, if ever you watch Blackadder or Love Actually or anything like that by John Lloyd, there's always a character in there who's a bit mad or a bit bonkers, who's a bit of a sad loser. His name's Bernard. And that Bernard is Bernard Jenkin. Because Bernard Jenkin went to school with John Lloyd and stole John Lloyd's then girlfriend and married her. And John Lloyd never forgave him and eviscerated him in everything he's ever written. So there's always a character called Bernard who has the runs or a small penis or something like that. That's the same Bernard Jenkin. So, in Blackadder 2, when you got Mad Nursey, she's called Bernard, Bernard Jenkin. But let's hope that this particular Bernard Jenkin does do his job, keeps the party together, because otherwise, where are these people going to go? You're going to have a vacuum. And somebody has got to hold Labour to account. They may not be able to stop them, but you need someone to be out there highlighting what they're doing, even though they're unable to stop them doing it. And that's why you need an efficient and effective opposition. So you don't want weird as it sounds, you don't want the Tories to implode. Otherwise, there will just be plain madness. It will become a monolithic one-party state. And with socialism, that's never good. You only have to look at all the millions upon millions upon millions who die under socialism one-party states. However, if, as we suspect, people will rush across, led by Suella, into reform, strengthen reform, get the numbers, get the members, the groundswell, get the rank and file, the people on the street, to rush across, boost them. It's imperative you get more politicians and proper grown-up politicians. Nigel is the figurehead, but it cannot become the cult of Nigel. We've seen how bad that is in Scotland with the cult of Nicola. And we saw spectacularly how the SNP have imploded after her. Cannot have that with reform. It's got to be a power base of many of equals where one man is not the party. That's the way forward. It can be done. Absolutely can be done. But it means that, it takes some grown-up politics. I'm afraid that while Suella Braverman and Kemi Badenoch are sitting there slagging each other off, hurling accusations, hurling insults at each other, it's not good optically. If it's come to the point where that's sort of happening, you've got an immovable object and an unstoppable force. One of them has to give, and I think the immovable object that is Suella will have to move to reform and let the unstoppable Kemi Badenoch take control of the party after a vote. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much. See you in the comments. Bye.